to show all the programs. I can't use mine.
Yes. Hold on. Are you going to go into Navica?
I was going to do now because so she was showing me time for the classes.
Ooh, fun. Okay, so then we are live, but it's fine.
Would I not be live before there? Hi.
Oh, it's live through this one.
Through this one.
Would it be okay if we go through that one and we're not live? Or do we have to be live?
Window. There we go. No, we're good. No, since we're streaming it, anything you do on there, they're not going to see. So if you're talking about a certain thing, like, go here, click here, they're not going to see it.
But these are cool.
No, because that computer's not hooked.
How do we get it tested?
So that doesn't have a HDMI port. So you may have had it in the computer.
Oh my gosh! You were so sweet.
All right.
So we're sharing the screen right now. Do you want to go and log into your Navica?
Yeah.
And then you also need, you said Solar Shield?
Yeah, I don't know what else.
I mean, you can log in as you get there. Okay, so you've got Navica, you've got Solar Shield, you've got this pulled up. So if you want to, that way it's kind of, I'm going to hide that. Okay, so this is probably, yeah, the battery's good. I'm going to undo that. So you are good. If you click around anywhere in this window, it's going to be shared. If you open up a different window, it won't be. But,
So if I go into there, it won't be.
if you go to a different tab, yes. But if you open up a different window, that window's not going to be shared. But this whole window is shared.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, yeah. Listing, Navica Solar Shield. You don't need to worry about this tab at all. You can just operate out of here.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Holler at me if you need something.
Where can I see myself? I like to see myself.
On this other tab. So you'll be good. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna move this just out a little bit to be on mute. Yeah? Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are y'all? Fantastic. How are you? Thank you for your response, Courtney. Oh, I'm great. Got you. So thank y'all for coming. We may have a few more people, we may not, but let's pretend we have a full class. So our girls at Alpera Abstract have brought us lunch, and would you guys like to take the floor for a minute?
Sure.
Talk about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Well, do I have to come up there? Well, I'm Kanisha Nasudak. I'm the owner of the Fire Abstract Empire. I've been in business for 3 years going now. We started in Bernie, and I'm from Odessa, but we do a lot of things like the big city. We're very technology driven. We're a small boutique title company, so we kind of focus more on the human aspect of everything, and you're more than just a number, you're actual people. So we just wanted to bring a little small town feel to back to Odessa, and, bring back the human aspect to title. But I'm glad you invited us.
Yes, thank you for coming there. The cool thing about Alpera Abstract is that you can actually call any button, you'll always get a response. You don't have to wait.
So I believe in the model that I'm the owner, you're the owner, right? You're a real estate agent, so you're the owner of your business. And I'm the owner of my business. So I feel like we should have that connection, and you should be able to talk to me, owner to owner. So you'll always have my phone number, you'll always be able to reach me, you'll always get a text back or a call back or whatever the case may be. It's more personal that way, and because we're small and boutique, so I never want to lose that habit. So
I love that.
yeah.
All right.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Enjoy lunch. If y'all have any questions for us, let us know.
Yes.
But we'll be here listening.
You said some business cards?
Yes, I have some kind of flyers in here. It has our contact information. Imelda is our office manager. She has been in title for a very long time. We have Lexi over here. She's our director of first impressions. She's amazing. And then we have Abigail, who's our escrow assistant. So it's 4 of us in the office, and when you call, you'll probably get Lexi first, but you'll be able to speak to anybody. Yeah. And we do utilize Qualia. I know some people are a fan of it, some people are not. I love Qualia. That's our title software, and literally you can see we call it our domino tracker. So anything and where we are in the process, you can see it through the portal. You can upload through the portal. We can contact through the portal. You can text through the portal. We just love it. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell. And we also use BankShot. I don't know if you've heard of that. I know some companies use Zocam, where you can screenshot your earnest money check and it comes directly to us. So you really don't have to hand deliver earnest money anymore. You can literally use the app. And then through Qualia, you can submit, through our website, we have a link on our website. Through Qualia, you can submit your orders to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we kind of, again, we're high technology driven. Just puts the work back into what matters most.
Nice.
Alright, thank you.
I'd like to add, I just closed with them, and they also do some of the closing paperwork ahead of time.
Oh.
Like they sent some of the closing paperwork, so we're at the table and they're like, you already signed this, like half the packet.
Yeah.
So it made closing like
You're not
super
having to
short.
sign
Yeah, you're
everything.
not, yeah, because they've already pre-signed.
That's
So
awesome.
it was pretty awesome. And then they have like a little private room where you can go take your clients and take pictures of them. It's really nice. They have a
They're
great
all
setup.
awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a pure abstract. So we're going to get started with our listing presentation. Well, our listing panel. Sorry. So, has anybody here listed a home before? Right there. Awesome. Congratulations. That's pretty awesome. So, how did that go? How do you feel about that process?
I had to ask a lot of questions. She's not here right now, but Sarah has been my go-to because it's a lot, and that's the first one. I mean, we had a buyer, but we did the buyer portion of it, and then at the listing, we didn't know where to go until. But it went well once you walked us through. So
And right now you're on the market?
yes,
No offers?
we had an offer, but he backed out yesterday.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, we all go through this, so
Yeah.
it's just part of the trade. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope that works out well.
Thank you.
All right, so none of us have listed before. We're about to learn today. I listed a ton of homes. I even took about 7 or 8 from one guy a few months ago. You know all about that. It was a great experience, but that's just more inventory, and then I let them go. Anyway, I have a few others. So yeah, our first thing, our number one thing is going to be get a listing appointment, and that's we're going to prospect. Any ways that you guys prospect that you think would be a great way to get a listing to get somebody to sell? Any ideas? Maybe this is how I started, because I'm not from here. I moved here about 4.5 years ago, and I knew nobody. Okay, so I couldn't reach out to a sphere. I had no sphere, right? So I started on Facebook. I went ham on Facebook. I would do videos almost every single day. My presence was there, and that's when people started knowing me. It got to a point where, like, a year later, I'd meet somebody at a show, and they're like, oh, I've seen you all over social media, and it was just my post. It wasn't anything about, like, I was closing $1 million a month. I was just, just posting. So that's how I got my first listing. I had somebody reach out. It was a mobile home here in Midland, and I knew nothing, but I was going to jump in because I really wanted to do this. I'm passionate about listings, and I knew I was going to be great at it. So it was probably the hardest transaction of my life, that first one. It extended for about a month. And every single day, it was like they were dragging their feet. It wasn't like, hey, next week we're gonna close. And I was like, well, tomorrow. Buyer's rate, it expired. It was a whole mess, but we ended up closing. Anyway, I got my first listing on social media. So number one is get yourself out there. Open houses, I was doing 2 open houses every single Saturday or Sunday. One of those days, I was just doing 2. It's 1 to 2 hours each. But that, I was also promoting myself on Facebook with that, Instagram as well, and people were just seeing my name, and then, the traffic that would come in, that also helps, just getting people to sign up and then, following up with them. So that's number one. We want to get a listing. You can do door knocking as well. You can do networking events, church. I've gotten deals off my daughter's school. I haven't gotten any on church yet, but I think that's coming soon. It's not that we go to church just to get them, right? But it's a networking
It helps.
opportunity. Yes. Yeah, just seeing, people that see you out in the community as well, they like that and they want to work with you. So that's going to be number one, right? How to get a listing. All right, so let's say we got our listing and we're about to go on this listing appointment. So we secured the bag where our seller said, all right, let's do this. You're going to give them 2 options. I always start with 2 options. When can you meet? I want to be in that house. Because if you give them more time, just let me know when you want me to go over there. They're probably not going to call you. 8 other agents are going to go in and take the listing from you. So you give them 2 options, the soonest, right? The soonest you can do is probably the best one. Can you do today at, I don't know, we're pretty early right now. Can you do today at 3 o'clock? That gives me enough time to prepare. I'm always dressed for work because of situations like these. I can show up 1 hour from now to a listing appointment. I don't have to go home and get dressed. I'm good to go. So always be ready. You want to give them that option, right? And then another option, maybe tomorrow. You want to do today at 3 o'clock or tomorrow at 9 a.m. What works best for you? And then they give you their time. Actually, neither of those work, but I can do tomorrow at 3 p.m. All right, so now you have more time to prep, right? So we pulled comps. Our last class, we pulled comps. Do you guys, was anybody here for the comps class?
Here.
Yeah. So you're going to pull comps. You're going to pull all the information you can on your listing. You're going to go into Naviga, and I'm going to try to show you guys. And this is what you're going to take to your actual listing appointment is going to be your comps, right? You want to do as many as you can. Well, not too many if it's a hot neighborhood where, like the newer ones where you're going to have a lot, you probably don't want to take as many. I do about 5. I do just 1 active and then a few sold and under contract. I don't go further than 6 months back unless I really have to, and then I stay within 0.5 radius. Okay, and then also the square footage, I stay within 200 to tops 300 of the difference up and down. All right, so we did comps, and then we have so I'm gonna try to get, oh man, it's not good. I'm gonna try to get a listing that was already on the market and that it expired. All right, never mind. So, sorry about that. Okay, so if you have a listing presentation, take it with you. I don't even have one. I just take my comps, myself, my business cards, appraisal district as well. I take everything I can, which is probably, that's it. And if I had a listing presentation, I'd do it much better. I'm actually working on that. You can just get it off Canva and customize it, and you can make like a look that looks very professional. So if you have that, take it with you. You check your comps, business cards, appraisal district. Net proceeds. It took me a while to understand how to do that, but you have it in zip forms. You can do it there. Be very careful with it because it's not the exact amount, okay? And some sellers will go after you and say, hey, I'm not getting the exact amount, and they'll want to make you pay the difference, right? So just make sure you seek help if you're not sure how to do it. You can always reach out to me and I'll walk you through it. I also have the West Texas One. It's an app on my phone, and I plug it in like on the sales side. I plug in like the listing price, and I do a few because I tell them, hey, we're gonna list it at this, but you may get an offer for less, and we're gonna do 3-4 scenarios. This is what you take home. So I run through there and give them some scenarios. All right, so essentially you would take a net proceeds sheet with you, your rep agreement and all supporting docs. So that is for Keller, that's the wire fraud, IBS, representation agreement, and mineral clause, right? And that's just the bare minimum, okay? Now, if your home is older than 1978, thank you, you're gonna wanna do the lead-based paint and the seller's disclosure. Well, that has nothing to do with the age, but that's gonna be, you can take it in person or you're gonna do it off Seller's Shield. Has anybody used Seller's Shield? Okay, I'm gonna give you a rough rundown. So on Seller's Shield, you're gonna create an account, right, as an agent. And then I already have one, so I'm gonna log in. This is where you get your seller's disclosure. Now you can print it out. I have had people that aren't technology friendly and they just want me to print it out. That's okay. Make sure you don't go over it with them because you'll be held liable if something on there is wrong, or they can just flat out say, oh, she translated it incorrectly. I'm very careful with Spanish speakers on that one. But you're gonna go in here, right? For every single property, you're gonna do this. Now, you don't have to have the seller's disclosure right away. You can wait. It's better to have it up front so you can just upload it into Naviga. But if you don't, it's okay. Just get it as soon as you get something under contract, get it within those 3 days or they come back out. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna invite a new seller. You're gonna plug in the address, all the information, okay? And then the name, first and last. Make sure you have an email, otherwise they just can't get into it. So, Cynthia, blah, blah, blah. Let's say I have a husband, which hopefully in the future, you're gonna add it, we're gonna manifest, you're gonna add an additional seller. And then his name is Kason. All right, and then his info, okay? So the first person, the primary, that's the one who's gonna fill the whole thing out. So you ask them who wants to fill it out. I would have him fill it out because I don't know anything about the house. So he would essentially go there first, and then I would just sign. So the additional is just gonna sign, okay? You're gonna send, and then it's gonna give you like options. Okay, we can't because they're invalid, but anyway, you go in, and it's going to give you options to add protection. They can buy the package to protect them. I hope this is compliant, but I always just tell them not to pay for it, and just be very careful once they're filling it out. But they can buy it if they want to for protection plan. So if has anybody sold their home here, their personal home? Okay. Yeah, did you get one of those?
No, I did it on paper.
Okay, so it's a very lengthy process. It's like a survey, a whole survey. It's a ton of pages and it gets frustrating. So make sure that your seller understands it's going to take a while and it's not something you can just pull out of the car. It's better on laptop. But anyway, once you do that and everybody signs it, you have your seller's disclosure. Make sure you say that. Okay, so going back to all the docs that we're taking to the listing appointment is everything we talked about. The seller's disclosure is going to be somewhere throughout that process. Doesn't have to be before then because they're obviously not going to do it before you know. Okay. So second, we're at the listing. We're there with the seller, right? We're dressed well. We're dressed to impress. We got all of our ducks in a row. We're good to go. Our phone's on silent. This is all for the seller, right? We're going to ask all the questions. Make sure as you're walking in, Yeah, I start looking at stuff, like if the roof looks bad, if the electrical's raised, and this is stuff you're gonna learn throughout as well. I didn't know this until probably a year or two ago. So it's not like you have to know this all up front, but ask for help if you're not sure. I check windows too, if they look like there's no way you can open them. Remember that each room has to have ingress and egress. I check for peeling paint. The smallest peeling paint that you think is not gonna be an issue, it is. The appraisers call it all out. It just needs to be scraped and repainted. But I look for all that and I check my sellers for that. So if you can jot everything down, take a notebook and then just jot everything that your seller tells you about the house. Ask them what they love about the house. They like to see on public remarks what they like. Like they're passionate about their backyard. You should go all down on their backyard on public remarks. And then we're looking over red flags to see what can prevent you from going FHA. When I go into a house and it looks a little run down, well, I check everything off, right? I make sure that it can go FHA. If not, we're just gonna go conventional, cash and whatnot. Really, if the sellers are willing to do repairs, then you can most likely go FHA as long as they're willing to do it all, even if it's a house that's a bit run down. You just let them know, hey, it's gonna cost you money, but we're gonna get top dollar for FHA. That's the only way, well, that's the best way to get top dollar because our first time home buyers are willing to pay that. If your listing is in the market for investors, you're probably not gonna get top dollar, they're gonna low you, okay? So it's probably in the best interest to do FHA required repairs. You're gonna ask them how they wanna go about showings. Let's say I've had 98% of them, they tell me that they don't mind showing time. Now, we explain to them that's a text message they're gonna get. Has anybody set up a showing time here? No?
Yeah, I'm sure someone will have I set it up.
You've got it, yes. Okay, so we gotta make sure that, yes, we got it, and then I'll try to walk you guys through one if we.
Are we trying to use brokers for that?
I think, eventually everyone's gonna go over to a broker bank. I haven't set one up there, I've scheduled them when I'm showing, but I would really be the best to show you how to do it. I can show you guys showing time, and just a rough breakdown, but I don't have it there. But yes, I think that's gonna be a really one, because I believe showing time is selling your information.
Oh.
Really? Yeah, I believe that they're selling the seller's information to Zillow, which right? I think that's what's going on. That's something that I didn't read thoroughly, but anyway, yes. So we might be doing it appropriately. So I'll show you guys right now how to do that, and that's a whole other deal. Like we can also sit down another day and go over it. If you guys have questions, just call me or we can sit down anywhere in the office. Okay, so you're gonna ask them the preferences, right, times, if there are restrictions, if they don't wanna show, if they don't want the house to be shown like anytime after 7 or 8 p.m. or before 8 or 9 a.m., if they need 2 hours notice, if they need 1 hour notice, if they need to confirm them, if they just wanna allow all the showings, which is different labels you can put on them, like go and show, or like confirm with the seller, or confirm with both. Confirm with the tenant. When you have a tenant, you have to be going at least 24 hours. The hardest ones to show. Tenant occupied, but we still make it work. Anyway, so we went over that with the sellers. We got to set expectations and deadlines. Expectations are when I go in there, I tell them I'm gonna need everything off the wall. Okay, and maybe if it's the house is terrible. Maybe the kids wrote on the walls or something like that. It's in their best interest to paint. Painting a house, I mean, it won't add value, but it's going to sell better. 100%. Just paint will make something look so much better. Neutral colors are always going to be good. Get rid of the dark colors, the neons and whatever. Just neutral paint, floor as well, if they can. If they can do floor, new carpet, vinyl, it's cheap. If you can do it, it's going to help sell your house much better. So I set those expectations up front. I don't tell them they have to, but I just advise them. And timelines, going back to, I have them take everything off the walls. I have them take everything off the counter. I ask them to depersonalize as if they're already doing. Okay, just have their bare minimum. If they need to put stuff back out, no big deal, but during like pictures, you have to have it like that. Because it's the number one source for people to see your home is gonna be online. So if they see it all cluttered and it looks tiny in pictures, they're probably not gonna go and show it. Okay? So we also, we have them, we'll just remove everything off the counters, the rugs, bad furniture that's not placed properly. We just ask them to kind of stage it best they can, right? And we help them with that too. And we go over timelines, deadlines. I tell them, all right, our average days on the market, maybe in that area is 50 to 60 days. So if we price aggressively, we're gonna go under contract much sooner. From there, 30 to 35 days to sell, to close on your home. You need to be moved out by then. Really, really go in on that because a lot of people are shocked. And I've had one person say, oh, I didn't know I had to move out. And we had already gone over this. So really stress that they have to be out by closing date, okay? And then ask them about liens. You would think that people would tell you, but they won't. So sometimes they'll come up, right, Anisha, and they owe what? What's the craziest one you've seen?
$260,000 in solar.
In solar panels.
But it wasn't $2 million. But it's fine. But still, they didn't know.
They didn't know. So I mean, had they not paid that off, they wouldn't have been able to sell. So also set those expectations. Always ask if they have solar panels in place. That's gonna be one of your big ones. And then payoffs. You know, if they have mortgages, if they have child support things, right? That's one. Child support
I
things.
honestly, don't mean to forget, but I honestly, we used to pull pre-title for our agents. If they have a listing that they know they're going to scout for, they call us and they just say, hey, I'm thinking about listing this house. Can you pull me a chain of title? And we're like, yeah, we'll pull you one. We'll pull all the liens. We'll pull anything that may come up that you may think with this house sitting on the market. We can clear it before it even sells. So it just speeds up the process.
I have never heard of other title companies doing that. But
Yeah, we do that.
Do you still do it?
Oh, all the time.
And how much time does that take?
Literally 30 minutes.
Really? Well, you'll be
I
hearing
mean,
from me.
again, it's being in the city, we have agents listing everywhere. And so they want to know before they go out there and waste their time if their house is even sellable.
Right.
So they'll call us and they'll say, hey, can you pull a chain? And we're like, yeah. And we'll get them they'll actually have the chain of title with them. And
They'll
in
take
their
it
package,
they'll take it to
take it to their meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Well, let's add that to the checklist.
Yes.
That's weird. That's
Just
really
so you
awesome.
have enough knowledge of this is
Okay.
who owns it, you actually own it. Where's the divorce decree? I know
Right.
you're divorced. I know you know everything about that house before you own it.
And that makes you look like a pro.
Yeah.
Because we all have the same access to all of them.
Yeah.
What's gonna make you stand out? Your knowledge, okay? So if you just blurt it all out, well, not everything, right, that you know, but make them understand that you know much more than they do.
Oh, yeah.
And that you know so much about their house, like in this instance, you have a solar panel lien or a child, I don't know, the child support lien. I wouldn't, if it's a husband and wife thing, I wouldn't, just stay it there, maybe talk to the husband, hey, I noticed this or whatever. But yes, that really does help a lot. Pretty cool. So liens, taxes, have you paid all your taxes? You can also check on the appraisal district. HOA's restrictions, you want to know the restrictions because let's say you're selling land and your seller wants to sell land, right? But you don't know if it has any restrictions and you don't care and you list it like that. And all these people want to put mobile homes on there and you can't do that, you might have an issue. So you want to know that up front, and I think title can help with that too, right? Yeah, so it's another thing. We got our title best friends that we can rely on, because all of this, we can't just rely on our own. You want to get HOA information if you can. It's so hard to get through them sometimes. It's just better if you have a direct contact. All right, so number 3, let's say our seller's like good to go, he likes everything, we're gonna list, all right? So I usually tell them, I can list your home within 3 days if you're ready. But if it's somebody that needs to clean, I do tell them, you need the house deep cleaned, always. And I pay for deep cleaning either before or at closing. So it's either one they get to choose. But if they're gonna be living in the house, you probably don't wanna get deep cleaned up front, you probably have them pay for it. Because then you're gonna have to clean up after them when they leave. So I have them clean if they're gonna do new carpets or flooring or new paint, I have them do that, I give them about a week or so. And then I contact my photographer right away, hey, are you booked out, or do you think you have some time next week? Yes, she puts me down right away, and she's very lenient. I use Kate the most because she gives me better pricing when I do multiple homes at a time, but I've used a ton of other people, they're all great. Anything I have over half an acre, or even over 3.3, I'm gonna do aerial shots. She doesn't do aerial, some of the photographers do, like the whole thing together, but she doesn't, so I just contact my aerial guy, which is the Drone Brothers, and they go out there and they take shots right away, then you'll be fired. And if you need to stage your home too, I've only staged one or two. I staged my home. I just flipped a house in Fort Worth and we're closing on it soon. We staged it, and that was the thing that made it sell. That was the only reason it sold. Other than that, we had no offers, not even showings. And it was a pretty decent home. Anyways, staging is great. It is costly, but it's worth it. So if you have one of those homes that are like, hey, we need top dollar, we flipped it, we need top dollar, sell them on that. Get them a few contacts. I use Barbie here, but there's a ton of them, and you know, have them pay for it. It's worth it. That one home I staged here, they had, again, six months on the market, no traction. We staged it and we sold it within 3 days. Bless you. We got it under contract within 3 days just because of the staging.
Who pays for the staging? You were the owner. The
Sorry?
seller. Who pays for the staging? You were the seller.
The seller. Now, when you get, because thankfully, I found, you know, it is Fort Worth, so there's a ton of them. I found one that was built to close. We only paid her $600 up front, and it's like $3,000 altogether. The rest we're paying at closing in a few days. But here, I've never met anybody that does that, and nobody did that out there except for her. So I just got lucky. But yes, sellers do. I would, in the future, I would pay for it if I'm doing like $1 million listings or anything higher. I think I would pay for it. And I've worked with a few other agents that are out there, and they do pay for it. So it is a few $1,000s, roughly around $3,000, maybe even more for a bigger home. Way more for a bigger home, but you know, if you're getting thick contracts, why not? But anyway, yes, seller pays for that. So you're going to get staging scheduled if that's the case. Make sure the house is very, very clean, deep clean for that. It's probably going to be vacant if you're going to stage it. So just make sure it's deep clean. Have them go in there. They go in about a week. And then you got your photographer scheduled. I usually go with my photographer because I want to make sure that stuff is properly located. So I go in there and I'm moving rugs. I'm moving like a plant and moving it to the side and whatnot. I'm doing all of that. I make sure that my sellers aren't home, but I do tell them, hey, we might move stuff around. And I clear the countertops if I need to. So you go in with them, right? And you get pictures taken. You're gonna wait about a day, or that same day you'll get them. Make sure curb appeal is great too. For most of my listings, I do get somebody to mow the lawn. It's not that expensive, and it does make a difference, at least for pictures, and then, you know, while you're trying to sell it. So that's a really good one. Make sure that they water it, make sure it looks just fantastic outside, because that's the first picture you see online. Per MLS, we have to have the front of the house. That's the first picture we have to have. So if that looks like garbage, you're probably not gonna sell at top dollar. People won't even scroll through your pictures. Okay, so we got everything in and we're ready to go live. So we're gonna plug in all our information right into the MLS. Make sure you have all your rep docs signed before you're gonna go live. You have to have them signed, okay? And I usually just send them, if I don't take them to the listing appointment, I just send them online through zip forms. That's a whole other deal. If you guys need to walk through that, we can do that at any other time. And I just get them all saved in my computer and good to go. When you're putting in all your data into MLS, you want to make sure you write the best public description, because I can tell you as a seller, we had one agent that we ended up switching agents, but we had one that was there were a ton of mistakes, misspelled. They said it was a 4-bed, 2-bath. It was a 3-bath actually. So that's a big deal. You got to really make sure that you know what you're typing in there. Make it look good. It just looked terrible. It looked really bad. So that just made the agent look bad. There's a site that I haven't used. I'm about to look at it for the first time on live TV. Chat GPT, I believe. Has anybody used this? No.
I've heard of it though.
So AI, right?
Yeah.
It can be the end of us or it can be great for us. But I heard from a lot of agents that this will do the work for you. You still want to go in, right? Make sure that it's done right, because you can't just copy paste. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. So what you're going to do, I guess I'm going to have to sign up, but. So again, I've never tried it. We're going to see what's up.
I think this is the one where you can put in certain words, right?
Yes.
And it does the description.
Yeah, so if I put in like house has 3-bed, 2-bath, it's going to be like this gorgeous, amazing, beautiful home has 3 huge, spacious bedrooms and 2. And yeah, it'll fluff it for you. Like I've seen some. Let me show you my house. Our agent did that on our house. The agent that got it under contract now. And it looked amazing. And then I'll show you guys the pictures too. Okay. So this is our house, right? Curb appeal was all right. We staged it, and that's the stager. She just charged the $3,000, but you know, we can pay at closing. And I'm telling y'all, that sold. Like, this kitchen's horrific. So you would go in there. It was a job not done well, right? You'd go in there and it was terrible. I wouldn't buy it. So we had it staged. I mean, look at that. It's just terrible. Anyways, staging made itself. We did paint. We did new flooring, whatnot. But I love this. Look at that. That's just, it has 2 master bedrooms. I like the home. Anyways, this is what she put. Welcome to your dream home. This was all, most of it was Chat GPT. So it was fluffed by it. Welcome to your dream home. This stunning 4-bed, 3-bathroom home situated on a spacious lot, no HOA. The open concept seemingly connects with the living, dining, all that good stuff. The living room features windows that allow natural light. Kitchen boasts modern appliances, ample counter space, an abundance of storage. Ensuite bathroom, all that good stuff, flexibility. Well, anyway, see, that looks very, very good. You should have seen the last one we had. It was like this 4-bed, 2-bathroom. That's what it said. And my boyfriend was so mad. He's like, how dare he do that? Anyway, we had to correct him a few times, but not like we're perfect, right? But anyway, this is on the seller side. That's what I experienced, and I would hate for my sellers to experience that. Like, it changes it up so much when you're on the seller side. Like, my expectations for myself now are much higher because I sold a home and I expect the most from my agent, so I'm going to be that agent.
So does ChatGPT does that?
Yeah, so you'll plug in, like, this is a 3-bed,
All the
2-bath
information.
house,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, and then they'll fluff it up, make it look real nice, and give you a ton of wording that's just, you know, great. You still want to go in there and maybe change stuff up if you need to. Anyway, sorry we couldn't get into ChatGPT. I'll look into that more. We'll make more of a class about that. Okay, so in private agent remarks, make sure that whatever your seller requests, like I've had some where it's like, don't let the cat out, make sure you put those in there, and then you also put it on showing time or whichever showing app you're gonna use, because God forbid something like that happens, it's gonna be on you. So I've had some people ask you to take your shoes off, I've had some people ask you to ring the doorbell when you're done so they can come back, all that stuff, so put that in agent remarks. So now we set that up right, and where was I? Make sure if your sellers are gonna record, make sure you disclose that on MLS. So you're gonna put that lockbox and that sign in the yard no more than 24 hours before you actually hit live. So I usually do it when I'm with a photographer because I know I'm gonna get the pictures right away, and I start working on my MLS right away, and I just do save partial, and I go back to it once I have pictures, I upload and go live. All right, so then we hit live, right? Now, next one, we're gonna set up open houses and start advertising. The biggest thing here is to advertise this home. So this is, especially this being your first listing, you wanna go all out, right? You're gonna start marketing it. I do my marketing on Facebook and just social, not just social, all of social media, but not just Facebook. I do Instagram as well sometimes. But yeah, you're gonna just market it, new listing, brand new listing, all the good stuff on there, and just pictures and videos and all that. Ask your peers if they want to host open houses, ask them to do a walkthrough. That's how I picked up my clients. I was doing just video walkthroughs and people like that. So you're gonna do that. You're gonna set up your open house. I do it the first weekend that we go live. Very, very important. I try to go live on a Wednesday or Thursday. Worst case scenario, Friday, but I do like to go live on Wednesday. If you can do Monday, even better, because you have the whole week to push on social media to get your open house to actually have people, to have traction. Because you probably won't if you list it the night before, nobody knows you had an open house. And then you also, every time you're gonna do an open house, you have to put in the Naviga. So that, I'm gonna try to log in and show you guys how to do that. Okay, good. I don't even know shame on me, if I have listings right now in Midland. Oh, yeah, that one's not a good one. All right, so we're gonna do Winchester. You guys have probably seen it. It's been on the market forever because of the electrical issues.
How much is Winchester going for now?
200 still, but
I got a call about it the other day.
oh really?
Yeah.
Man, it's a rough one.
I think they have some buyers.
I think everybody that's been a real estate agent for the past year has gotten a call. We've got it under contract 3 times, and this poor guy, it's still the electrical. Nobody wants to do it without getting paid. I get it, and my seller just can't front it either. And for me, I would have paid it, but it's not worth the amount. My commission's less than that, so it is what it is, you know. Sometimes you got to take the L, not most of the time, but sometimes. Okay, so we have Winchester. So you're gonna go into, I have a rental there. Okay, we're gonna go into Winchester, and you're gonna edit listing. You're gonna do open house, and you're gonna choose your add open house. Choose your date. Remember the coming weekend, the Saturday. And then you're gonna do your times. Do public. Save settings, and then it'll generate on there. That will go on to realtor.com, Zillow, all that stuff. Make sure you do this right away once you have somebody that's scheduled. It's as easy as just asking in the group chat, hey, who wants to hold an open house for this new listing I got in Daybreak, and agents will give you 10 slots. So we're marketing the home, right? And we put it on MLS for open houses. We made sure that our sellers are aware and that they know the house needs to be clean and show ready. And I always try to do like a sign-in sheet. Not everybody wants to sign in. People are hesitant, but you know what? If you can get a few to sign in and give you some feedback, that's great. I love feedback because that gives the sellers a different point of view. It's not just like you saying, oh, your house is this. It's like, oh, other people are seeing that too. Has anybody heard of a broker's open house before? So you've been, right, where the agents will feed you and have drinks and it's just the last
They
like
feed
a
you.
little party. Yeah, they have good food, yeah. So I did that on like a very much higher end listing. Like I did that on Saddleback, it was a new area, and I found that. You were there, right? That was a nice one. Yeah, and it sold right after, not because of it, but we just had a lot of traction and the sellers like that. Oh, people are going out there, all the agents actually looking for me, I like that. So you gotta look, you gotta show them that you are working for them. I also do it on overpriced homes, and I get every single agent to provide feedback, and all of that I give it to my sellers, and most of the time it's gonna say overpriced home, and that helps to get your seller to go down if they don't wanna go down. Or else it's gonna sit in the market for too long. And then that's about it. I mean, you know, once we're under contract, you get an offer, you just make sure you change it in MLS and you're good to go. And then make sure you close it out. Try not to take too long to close it out. I have done that with my leads and I forgot about it and I got in trouble. So just make sure you do that. Do you guys have questions? If I were to call you right now, would you be ready to go to the listing appointment?
It's intimidating because I feel like in that sense you are really selling yourself and like your abilities and what you can bring to the table to help them sell their home. I don't know that I'm there yet.
How do you feel you could be ready? Practicing, maybe?
Yeah, so that I have a better idea of how the conversation is supposed to go coming from my side without like being nervous and feeling like I don't really know what I'm talking about, like actually having that one-on-one conversation.
Right.
Like I'm selling your home. Let me figure out.
So let's role play. Does anybody want to role play?
Yeah.
Will anybody take one for the team? Okay, so I'm gonna call you, right? Because I saw I saw California sign. How come you're on duty? Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Rebecca. How can I help you?
Is this Keller Williams?
Yes, I'm with Keller Williams.
So this is a real scenario. I had this happen on Rashida. I have a 30K house. This is how they called me. Yeah, I listed a house a while ago with Keller Williams. I just really like Keller Williams, so that's why I'm giving you guys a call. Crickets.
Okay. So how can I help you?
So what you're gonna say, Becca, is that is awesome. I love that you called. I love that you called. I would love to sell your house. We pride ourselves in being, #1 real estate agency here. So yes, we pride ourselves. I would love to list your house. Can you tell me more about it? What's your address? Get an address, okay? And then they told me, oh, it was Rashida. Anyway, so they told me address. I knew. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be my biggest listing. And at that time, it was the biggest listing I'd ever gotten. I went from like 100K homes to a $530,000 home. And I was ready. I said, all right, yes, absolutely. When do you have time? He said at 1 or 2 o'clock today, which was like an hour or two from there. And I said, you know what? That's how we went. So I'm just gonna jump into it and just do it. I said, absolutely, we'll be there. And I was dressed, I was ready to go. I pulled comps, I asked him all for help. I just took everything I could comps, that's all I took. MCAT, net proceeds, 3 different scenarios. It was a 530, it was a 500, and a 480. And I showed up. I just made sure they liked me. I went in there as if I were their friend. I love your home, this tree, oh my God. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like I was just shook, right? I was shook to be in there, to even be a possibility. And the guy really liked me, his wife loved me, and they started just walking me through the house. I acted super surprised about everything. I did call stuff out. I didn't know too much at the time, but I did call stuff out. Like, I know that this is going to be an issue. What was it? I have something. What we ended up having 3 pictures on that bedroom. Anyway, I just told him what I had heard that Imelda would say. I shadowed her for like a year and a half, every single time. I was her assistant. That's how I started. I was her assistant. I was working from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, I believe. But I wanted to make it work here. You know, single mom. This is what I wanted, right? So I was staying 6, 7, 8 p.m. My mom was taking care of her. Fortunately, she was here. She was watching her. I was at work all day, every day. And then Saturdays and Sundays, I was working with Imelda. I was showing houses with her. I was, even rentals, I was there. I was shadowing her. That was the biggest thing for me, shadowing her. And I was listening to every single thing she said at those listening appointments. I was just taking it all in, soaking it all in. And that's what I said at a listening appointment. A lot of the things that she said. She would point stuff out and she would tell them, take everything off the walls, take everything off the counters, remove the rugs. And that's exactly what I did. So I learned from her, right? Anyway, I got all the info I could from them. I was worried because this house had another house in the back and it was just not a shed. It was a whole shop with a 2-story house in the back. So not everybody could buy that, right?
I remember that house.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
look at it, but I was in the church.
The 530 one?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
was that a year ago?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Was that? Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. But yeah, I have never had a listing that in that price range. The biggest thing, the selling point of that house was the 2-story.
It had like an apartment or something?
Yeah, it was a house, like a 2-story house. And the people that bought it was for their mother-in-law. It's an actual mother-in-law suite. So that's what sold the house. The floors themselves, I don't know if you remember, concrete sink, it was nice. But the home was pretty good.
Yeah.
But the brown concrete.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yes, it was not the best. However, these people loved it because of that house. So anyway, I just jumped into it. I did it, and I got it sold at 5:30, right at 5:30. So that was just a blessing, right? I got my full 3%. I had their lawn mowed. I had their garbage taken out because we had an issue with the appraiser, and we thought we were going to close on time, and they were trying to close out in Austin on their house. So it was a real tough situation. It was very, very stressful those last few days, and they didn't know. They thought it was going to fall through. So they didn't move their stuff out. And then the day before, we get a call from the agent and the appraiser, hey, we're good to go. We're going to close tomorrow at 3. And we had to get everything moved out. But yeah, I helped them with, that was the least I could do at the time, right? I helped them with getting their lawnmower, getting some of the stuff moved out, getting garbage hauled off, and getting the house deep cleaned. And we closed on it successfully. But yeah, that was a call that I got, and it was strictly picked up the phone. Hey, I'm listing on the house. I know a ton of agents, but I don't know what it is. They said it. They loved it, and I loved it. I sold them on it, so yeah, really great. But that being said, if you feel like you need more practice, I would say shadowing is going to be your best friend. Okay? I'm always down to have someone shadow me. I will introduce you as my assistant, and that we work together. You can shadow me. I don't always remember to call everyone and tell them, hey, who wants to shadow me? So you're probably going to be like, hey, you got something going on this week? Buyer's appointment, rental, sale, whatever it is, you guys can always shadow. Yeah, that was a good. And practicing role plays always going to be a good one too. just, we did a lot of role playing when I started, so it was really, really good for me to just role play and I was going for her follows. And that's how I was able to,
Kind of think on your feet.
yes, and handle objections. Because, I mean, I don't get many objections on those appointments, but I did have one, like, what should I choose you? And I didn't know what to say. Yeah, I really didn't know what to say. I still got the listing. I didn't know what to say, but I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna work for you as if this were my house. I know how important it is to sell, and I'm gonna be the agent that makes this different experience from everybody else. You know, my mom still, he ended up going with me and we sold it. But sometimes I'm like, how do I get these listings out?
I feel like they just kind of tease you.
Yeah, you get to a point where your business starts strictly in. And right now I'm working on referrals, but I didn't have to work in the office for the first 2 years that I made money. So neither. You guys, I think you guys are better off though. I don't think I've seen anybody else besides me struggle that much the first 3 years. I feel like you guys have gotten, despite continuing ages, you guys have gotten deals. I didn't have that much.
We're talented.
You close a lot for being your first few months. Yeah,
But it's still scary though, very nerve-wracking.
there's a lot that goes into it, so this stuff, you know. It's not good to miss stuff, but it's okay, like, you know, it's gonna happen. Like, I missed the home warranty the other day and stuff like that. It happens. But anyway, I will let you know if you don't have any more questions. You guys can always give me a call if you guys want my number, write it down. You can ask me to do that and just holler if you need.
One question before you go. What other marketing tools would you use for listing them? Besides, you put in MLS and then you do it on page or Navica and then it kicks it on to, you say Realtor, Zillow,
Oh,
Facebook,
it won't clear out.
yeah, but I won't do Facebook, but we can do Facebook. Or try to do Facebook.
Right. I'll do that, yeah.
So what else besides that? What else do you do?
Actually, I don't do anything else. I do that, that's it. I make sure I put it in Marketplace because yeah, I do get a lot of leads on Marketplace. It's crazy, you wouldn't think, but I've gotten the most leads on Marketplace. They reach out, hey, is this available? Out of 10 that just ask, is it available? 1 responds. But that one is usually somebody that wants to buy.
Serious.
So it's an actual, so the difference between a cold lead and that lead is that lead reached out to you, that's a cold lead. That's somebody that's gonna turn into something. If they don't turn into something in the next few weeks, maybe 1, 2, 3 years, but you have them onto your CRM. But yeah, Marketplace is one, and then I used to do door knocking, I don't do that anymore, but dropping off flyers, for open houses or new listing. But yeah, I don't know. And then just having the agents promote it is a real big thing. So more people can see each other. Yes, if you don't have any questions, we can go have lunch. The ladies brought us lunch, so. Alrighty. Thank you all for joining.
Is this something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I'm gonna give you this. Yes, and that's my first.
Awesome, thank you so much. You? you guys are here?
We're in Odessa. Yeah.
Oh, man. Thanks for
Are you still alive?
Yeah.